This blog was written back in October 18, 2009, and it was a blog I wrote before I even met my husband. The title is Good First, Better Next, Best Finale. I am in a transition between the better and the best. I only have room for one more, and I only have time for the last one. What do I mean by this? I had my first boyfriend when I was 23 years old, back in April 8, 2007, in Baguio City. Courtship was barely a month, as we only started going out March 10th, but we've known each other since college, as we are physical education classmates, PE classmates, first semester of 2000. He was a good duck pin bowler, so despite my 5-foot build, I developed a crush with this 1 to 2 inches shorter, cute boy who was a political science major. He had a girlfriend that time, so I shifted to having a crush on someone else. Fast forward 5 years, November 2005. I was working at a call center in Makati, checked my Friendster profile, and got a testimonial from him. We lost touch for about 2 years before that, and in his testimonial, he said he had a crush on me back in college. Wow. Since then, we have been connecting through Friendster, email, and texts. This continued even as I started working for Pony, and then, before you knew it, we were a couple. Oh, by the way, fast forward his height also. He stood at 5'4", while I was 5'1". He swept me off my feet. He knew how to surprise me. Before going to his office in Makati one afternoon, he got a tall mocha frappuccino from Starbucks and took it to my office in Ortigas. One time, I was prepping for a visita iglesia around 4 in the morning. He texted saying that my breakfast of McChicken sandwich was waiting outside the gate of my house. And there he was. On our first month, he called and texted that he would meet a friend before going to work, while I, at the same time, coordinated with him my dropping by at his office to eat dinner. The next thing I know, he was already beside me in my office area, carrying flowers. For a second month, he took me to Corregidor Island, not sure about the spelling. All expenses paid. And did I mention we became a couple in Baguio? That was in Easter, and we had to attend the Easter Mass together. Before I knew it, yet again, he wasn't that guy who was going to stay. He got tired of the monotony of my life. Store visits during Fridays and Saturdays, peak seasons, and therefore no vacations during the months of May, June, November, and December. Our dates were constricted to just the malls when he preferred out of towns. And me wanting to stay in Muntinlupa instead of moving in together in a place we could both call our home. He took everything fast. So maybe that was the reason it had to end after 4 months. Why that short and why that fast? I took this as an experiment, as an end to my wondering, how is it like to be actually in a real relationship, if ever that was really considered a relationship. Dating a few guys for quite some time has often got me asking why none of them became my boyfriend. Anyway, that first time was a good first time. My second boyfriend was definitely better. He was an office mate, handling a different brand. younger, came from a different school, and not really that tall. The first time I had an encounter with him was back in March 2008. He was with another office mate waiting for the elevator in the fourth floor cafeteria of our building. We got to ride that one elevator that made me able to check him out. And I remember the first thing I said that time to my pony office mate when they got off the 28th floor. He's cute. From that time on, I was seemingly a stalker. I made sure that I would buy my breakfast on the same time I had that encounter. But I didn't get to see him after that first one. So I told another office mate from another brand about this developing crush, and she helped me devise this plan. I would ask and borrow brand comparatives for Toby's stores for both of us from him. And so I did. I made the call and asked about a certain store, and it went from there. One time, I was prepping for my store visit when I got a call from someone not registered in my phone. It was him. He asked about a store that was that time under renovation. He was so civil, he used po and opo on me. I got a bit irritated that I told him I'm not old. That day did not really end with that. We even texted as I was on my way to the store. After a while, he texted something that wasn't related to work, a forwarded message to be exact, and that left me with goosebumps and made my heart skip a beat again. It started from formal texts about work to those about going to the gym, interests, hobbies, and basically everything under the sun. I wasn't taking anything lightly, but I was assuming things. But one time, I just had this crazy, out of the blue decision to actually accompany him during one of his late nights in the office. Now, what's that about? Then there was a time we met up in Bacoor, Cavite, and that was the first time we actually talked face to face, because before that, it was just over the phone or text. Then I would get out of the blue texts and sometimes phone calls from this guy that I really enjoyed. I didn't even get it the time he actually asked if he could court me because I was so comfortable with how we are. Kulitan, the numerous texts, hanging out, the jokes. So I didn't believe him when he was already asking me that. And when he told me that he wants me to be his girlfriend, I even had a hard time. And it took a while before that had to sink in. I often asked him if he was just playing or just joking or just wanted to see how I would react. But it turned out it was for real. He wasn't the type my first boyfriend was. My second boyfriend was clueless. He didn't even know how to surprise me. He wasn't into out of towns. He wasn't as romantic and sweet. But he treated me well until he broke up with me. Now, I don't want to go on details with that. And all in all, we had a relationship that lasted more than a year. I hoped it could be more than that, but right now, I don't want to think about it. Though I still hope and pray that if God gives me another chance at love and gives me the best that a relationship could be for me, it would be with my second boyfriend. I remember the day I decided that I really loved this person was days before I actually said yes to starting the relationship with him. I shared the first kiss with him barely a month before, and it felt like I just gave away one of the best things that I could give him, my love. It was a decision when I stayed despite the fact that I thought I wasn't getting what I deserve. I'm young, I still have a lot going for myself. I'm free, I'm single, I'm alone, but definitely not allowing myself to be lonely. I'm hoping for the best finale, the last person, the last chance, all in the name of love. the end. So, this was a blog I wrote in 2009, so that was more than a decade ago, and it was something I wrote even before I met my husband. So, I guess I would say that I have already achieved the best finale, and it's still ongoing, that finale. So, to those who have heard this, have heard me read this, I just want to tell you, if you're single right now and if you're feeling hopeless, like nobody loves you, or you don't deserve anyone, or you're feeling like no one gives you the attention you need, I just want you to be reminded that God is always there. I think this entire thing, how it went on, it was brought about by God. It's God's handiwork, the good, the better, and the best. It is always Him. He has already gone before us. He has already written our life letters, our love letters, the book about our lives. He has already written it way before we were born. And I believe it always has a happy ending. And for me, I am in the longest, best finale ever of my life. And of course, I couldn't ask for anything more. What I would ask rather is that you who's listening right now,